at this point. It's like I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to see more people come to 8.
This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
Oh, we're here. We are here. We're back for your SmackDown review for November 3rd, and we're going to break it all down and everything that went on SmackDown for you right here on the Value of Wrestling. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Oh, we are back, and we are back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Value Wrestling. This is your Value Wrestling SmackDown review, and we're going to break down everything that went on tonight on SmackDown. Of course, let's get into the introductions. First and foremost, you know me. I'm the one. I'm the only. I'm the big guy. Oh, yeah, you know me. And, of course, sitting across from me is one, the only. Oh, yeah, we are here. We are live. If you're in the chat, welcome to the party, and thank you for being here. Let us know that you can hear and see us very well and that we are on the road to the review. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to do a review tomorrow night, and we'll be back in less than 24 hours because we'll be here for a Crown Jewel review. Of course, we'll have our third team member, one Miguel Z, our New Japan Pro Wrestling expert, joining us, and then later that night, me and this guy will be back with you to do a whole review of Collision. Yes, not too many matches have I heard on Collision. I know the Murder Hawks taking on Darby Allin, and that's about it. So we'll have to see. Awesome. Thank you very much. Join in the chat while we have this conversation. We thank you for being here, and we're going to review SmackDown. We're going to start off. Of course, sadly, this was a canned show. This was recorded from last week, so it was in the same place. Because most of everybody's already over in Saudi Arabia for tomorrow's show. Hopefully the weather is nice. Lots of rumors that there's going to be some bad weather over there. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Anyways, we open up with LA Knight. He's in the ring. He's talking about how he's going to beat Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns eventually comes down and asks who he is. That Roman Reigns took some vacation time, and now he's got all the fans cheering for him. It's not going to happen. Knight basically says he has the fire in him, and he's going to win this and end the reign of Roman Reigns. Good opener, more of this back and forth. It'll be interesting. I think we'll have a really good match tomorrow at Crown Jewel. But this is definitely a good way to open the show. Maybe a little long, but, we're running into the show tomorrow. Knight kind of has the one-up on Reigns. We'll have to see how it plays up. What is up, Miguel? Thank you for joining us. Mr. Clarke, your thoughts on the opening segment of this show?
I get a nice little chuckle out of Roman Reigns calling Knight a redneck version of his cousin.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we've all been saying it, not the redneck aspect of it, but he's got certain qualities, certain attributes, like The Rock.
Well, I referred
nice
to
chuckle out of that.
I've always kind of referred to him as he's gotten on the WWE roster kind of to the modern day Stone Cold. So I mean,
he's been called both.
Yeah, I know. He's getting over. Yeah, well, I think we all love LA Knight, and if you've seen LA Knight as Eli Drake in either Impact Wrestling or NWA Wrestling, then you definitely know the talent this man does have, and it's nice to see him on the main roster. What does this do? How does this play out? It's going to be interesting, but I still hear. I'm hearing rumors though that this may be his last match coming in the Crown Jewel. Because he I guess the contract's still not re-signed, so we don't know what's going to happen with that. So that's a bit of rumors and speculation that are still out there that LA Knight hasn't signed, and this may be a way to take him off TV for some time until they figure out what they're doing. Anyways,
I guess it's one way.
We open with the Kevin Owens Austin Theory match. Grayson Waller was on commentary. Again, this was kind of a feedback from last week when Kevin Owens was able to punch the two at the same time. He punched them both in the face at the same time. It was a great moment. It was. I loved it. I thought it was entertaining and very funny. So now we get a match. And a very good, solid match. Exactly what you expect from Kevin Owens and Austin Theory. I know a lot of people are going to say WWE and Triple H are burying Theory, but I think Theory is right where he needs to be, and his time will come, but he's got to work his way there. And right now, it's not that time, but it's good to see Owens out there doing what he does. He hit up a pop-up powerbomb and then a stunner for a finisher. Got the 1, 2, 3, and Owens wins 7 minutes, 19 seconds. A beautiful, solid match between these two guys. What you expect between an Austin Theory and a Kevin Owens. Mr. Clarke, your thoughts?
I was having a conversation with one of our colleagues, Jane, and she kind of was saying that she was looking at Austin Theory and that he's everything that the Narcissist should have been back when Lex Luger first came into the WWE. He's got the looks. I'm about Austin Theory now. He's got the muscly, whatever. He can get under your skin with his verbiage. I mean, he's just everything that the Narcissist could have been. Austin Theory is, and will put out and lead the future, if you will, eventually.
Eventually, I think he's going to get up there. It's just not his time. I think, again, Vince McMahon tried to rush him to the front of the line, and it didn't work out. It didn't go the way everybody wanted it to. But now we're seeing kind of him getting in place, and I think he will have his time. I can't wait to see more of him and Grayson Waller together. So From there, we had Bianca Belair is ready to finish her history with Bayley. They're having the main event spot tonight, so we will get Bayley runs it in for a brawl. And then we get Logan Paul talking with the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley, and they have a little moment before a BFAB, of all people, come in and ask if she can speak to Bobby Lashley. So interesting to see that BFAB is solo in this moment and maybe going to get something done. Not somebody I would have thought would have joined this group if that's what the plan is going forward. But I mean, maybe she's going to do it for both her and Adonis. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But maybe it's BFAB's going to get a spotlight with this new group of the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. Mr. Clarke, your thoughts on these backstage segments?
I didn't see BFAB coming.
Yeah.
Like, she's still employed? Holy snap, kind of feel. I mean, we hadn't heard of a release, so actually, felt. See where it goes. Logan Paul running into the Street Profits before that. A little. I don't even know what to say about that either. Nice little segment. It was cool. It continues the story for tomorrow.
Yep. It was a good little segment. It was interesting to see BFAB of all the females that have been suggested to join this group, but we'll see what happens with this. Next, we had. They need a female leader. Yes.
That's not her.
They need a female. I don't know. It depends on what she can do. We haven't really seen a whole lot of what she can do. She was there with Hit Row and did her thing, but I don't really think they let her shine. So maybe in this form, she may be able to shine and be a female heater. I would have thought a heel Bianca Belair would have been my first choice for this group. And then if you were going to bring Jade Cargill into the main roster, I thought this would be another place to get her in a group to be a heater. But maybe they know something we don't know about BFAB, and we'll just have to wait and see. Anyways, we got the women's tag team champions Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. This time not dressed up as the Hart Foundation, and they are taking on Shotzi and a mystery opponent. And so we get Charlotte Flair. And so we have a decent match, a short match, nothing special here. We get a moment where Alba Fire and Dawn,
Isla Dawn.
Okay, Isla Dawn are watching backstage. Eventually, we get Charlotte Flair hits a big boot for the pin at 2 minutes 54 seconds. So Flair is thrown into a tag team and beats the champs clean in less than 3 minutes. And so we got a decent match. It's what you expect from Piper Niven, Chelsea Green, Shotzi, and Charlotte Flair right now. Keeping Charlotte out of the main roster picture and allowing her to do something with these other three. I mean, they're just kind of floating. They don't know what direction they're going to go. We're just going to have to kind of wait and see. Mr. Clarke, your thoughts on this tag team match?
I just want to know, when did Shotzi become the new NXT Bailey? Miss Superfan? Charlotte's coming out. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Giving her a hug and everything. I'm just like, what? First they take off her last name, Shotzi Blackheart. Now she's just Shotzi. The hair cutting was cool. I mean, I understand the change of character because she needed new direction anyways. Why is she turning into Superfan though? Why is she turning into NXT Bailey?
It's something for her to do. So they're working on it.
Yes.
Giving her some direction.
It gives the potential tag team championships a direction, I guess, also. Like, I think I read somewhere after SmackDown that they're actually going to get a title shot at some point.
Shotzi and Flair are going to get a title shot against the tag team champions. That's interesting.
That's not a long-term tag team. I don't know if someone's getting fed, or I don't know how that's going to go, how that would work out.
It'll definitely be interesting to see how that plays out. So we're going to have to wait and see what the plans they have for all that. Of course, I think a lot of things are just trying to get through till the end of the year before a lot of other things start clicking into place.
I don't see Flair losing, but by the same token, I don't see them winning the tag title. So I'm like,
yeah.
How do you play that one out?
I don't know. I don't know how that is all going to work out. Anyways, from there, we got the John Cena Solo Sikoa video package from last week. Solo Sikoa's in the ring, and this is where Cena comes in, and they go back and forth. Of course, Cena playing like his versus horse, so I don't know what they were doing with that. I mean, I get the thumb into the neck, and you're trying to sell that. They had their back and forth. They're getting everything prepped up for tomorrow night to get ready for this big match. I don't know how it's going to play out. It's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. What did you think about Solo Sikoa and John Cena's promo?
I actually like the fact that John Cena had to speak kind of hoarse. It follows up from last week, where it's like the whole promo from Paul Heyman was, you're going to lose your voice. You're going to lose what made you, this top superstar.
Mm-hmm.
And so playing into the possibility, like, you might lose tomorrow. He's already gotten the Samoa Spike once.
Yeah. Well, and he hasn't won in so many days, so it'll be interesting to see.
Mm-hmm. So it was a good segment, and it leads into tomorrow. I mean, that's all you can really ask of it.
Then we got a backstage segment with Bailey and Damage Control all together. Nick Aldis back there saying he wants the match to be clean and bans Damage Control from ringside. Nick Aldis making himself feel more and more impressive each and every week as a good general manager. From there, we got another match of the Pretty Deadly versus the Brawling Brutes. It's your common match here. It was a decent match. A middle rope spilled milk through a table finishes Butch at 12 minutes and 22 seconds. Pretty Deadly gets another win here, trying to build up Pretty Deadly. The Brawling Brutes, I don't know what their plans are with them right now, but it's just, it is what it is, and it was a decent match for what it was. I don't know if there's a whole lot to hype up in that match. It was just what you expect between these two teams, and we've seen it and seen it and seen it. I think it's kind of getting to a place where you're like, okay, something new. Mr. Clarke.
I think my only real critique is I am so tired of, it's a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. It's a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. Especially for us American fans, okay, we get it. It's a pub match, blah, blah, blah. I don't give a care anymore.
Yeah.
They've had too many of these, within months of each other. So it's just I'm glad that Pretty Deadly is being built up. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I think before what's the name got hurt, they were the funniest tag team to me. Plus getting that, comedy heel heat, having them get some wins is obviously what they need.
Yeah. No.
Can we just stop having the Donnybrook matches?
Well, I think we just need to get these teams on to other opponents to do something different.
Yeah.
Pretty Deadly's just kind of out here, and the Brawling Brutes don't really feel important. So, you got to figure out what we're going to do with them. depends, I guess, a lot on what's going to happen with Sheamus and his future. So a lot of things are just on hold. I think a lot of things, people are upset, but I think a lot of things are just trying to get to the end of the year so we can start building to the road to WrestleMania and get through what was left over on the scrap tables. Because we got to remember, Vince McMahon took over creative control, and then it switched back to Triple H, and I think Triple H is just trying to clean out the last little bit and get other things started. But I think a lot of things will become more clear as we head into the road to WrestleMania. So from there, we were backstage. Paul Heyman with Nick Aldis telling him to have medics on hand tomorrow because this is going to be a savage reigns like we've never seen before. So we're going to have to see how this match plays out. Mr. Clarke, looks like you wanted to say something and all that.
Nothing really particular. I just don't know if I believe Heyman in this case. Like, when you're setting up Roman versus Brock Lesnar, yeah, I believe that he's going to have to be as savage as possible. Against LA Knight, it's going to have to put a good match. That's just his fucking job. But I don't know if he's going to be as savage as to the degree of the hype that Paul Heyman's trying to put out there.
It's going to be interesting how this plays out. I don't know how they're going to do this. Does LA Knight lose clean in the center of the ring? If this goes along with the storyline or rumors or speculation that he may not be re-signing with WWE or he may be getting written off of TV for right now, then maybe we get a Savage Reigns to beat him to an unmerciful end. I don't know if that's a good idea. I think you kind of have to have Knight win by DQ or count out or some nefarious means. I think that's your best bet if Knight's going to stay with WWE, because I think you could really put Knight not losing here, but be owed a title match and then kind of get pushed aside for the story to Cody. And then after WrestleMania, I think you could have LA Knight and Cody Rhodes with a heel LA Knight coming back around going, hey, I never got my title match. Because even though he's great, it's fun as a babyface. Knight's just not a babyface. Even the guy behind LA Knight, it's just there's not many places you can watch his past history that he was a good babyface. He was just the over the top heel. He was loved like Austin and The Rock in their heel fashions, where it kind of made them babyfaces, but we want them to be heel. I feel like they're really trying to take LA Knight and play him babyface when it should just be LA Knight being LA Knight. Instead of the babyface playing to the fans. It's just like, go be you and be the heel. Just be a tweener. Don't feed into all the other stuff. So I think you could really have a lot there if that's how this goes. Ref stopping the match, but that wouldn't work, because if the ref stops the match because Roman choked out LA Knight, that would be a win for Roman. Yeah, he could say, oh, you didn't tap me out. But I don't know if that plays into the storyline of saying I am owed a title match. That's more where I would look at it. If he's able to stay, win by DQ or count out or some other nefarious means, so then he wins, which means he still would have a claim to saying I have a right to a title match because he beat the champion. So that's why I would say that a stoppage. You could do the same storyline, I guess, but I don't think it plays as well as something else. So it's going to be interesting how it plays out tomorrow. Anyways, we got a segment that I didn't really care for. We got a little back and forth and hands-on, but we had the Logan Paul, Rey Mysterio weigh in. Logan Paul just barely over the 205 weight of 213, so the 205 live would have been around. He could have dropped a couple pounds and been the king of the cruiserweights. So, except Pac may not have been happy about that, but that could have been an interesting match. Pac versus Logan Paul would be a damn good match, I think. But anyways, Rey Mysterio weighed 175 pounds. Then they came face to face. Then Paul patted Rey on the head. They called us like no touching. Then Rey decides to smack the shit out of Logan Paul. Then they kind of get in the brawl. A security ref, whoever back there, gets knocked out. This segment really didn't do a whole lot for me. It was just kind of, I know it's trying to continue the storyline, but it just felt flat. I don't know. There wasn't a whole lot there for me to grab onto to be excited about. Mr. Clarke, your thoughts about the weigh-in tonight?
If I'm going to be honest, I may have fell asleep through this or something, because I missed this completely. I got everything before and I got, everything after. But this particular segment, I actually missed. And even when I read about it, I was like, yeah, I don't see it doing much.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot. It was what it was. I don't know how this match is going to play out. I don't know if they pulled the trigger on Logan Paul winning a title and any Rey Mysterio's reign. I think Rey Mysterio would be more likely to lose it to Escobar going into WrestleMania, depending on how they play this all LWO and everything out. I know there's been a lot of talks about Rey has never played a heel. There's a lot of speculation that he may turn heel. There's little things he's doing that.
Real careful with that sentence.
What?
He's never played a heel in WWE. He has played a heel in his career.
Well, I say that because that's his own words. He's never played a heel. That I say that because he said he's never played a heel in his wrestling career. From his own words. So, I mean, yeah, we could go back to the WCW days where they tried, but it never really was like a real heel run. So, unless he played a heel somewhere else that I'm not aware about, but that was his own.
I am talking about his WCW run.
Yeah.
It's like, granted, it was short-lived, yes, but it was like, it existed. It's like saying Hulk Hogan was never heel, even though he was heel before he was in the WWE.
Yeah, but he was heel in NWO. I mean, you can't, but that was even Ray has said that he's never played a heel. And the way he referred to it's like his whole career. So, yes, at WCW, it was, he tried to play heel, but it never really, I don't even think, the Filthy Animals were supposed to be a heel team, but I don't ever think it really got over as heel. So,
and they were kind of forced to turn face because they were so beloved.
It was like they tried to do it as much as they tried to do it with Goldberg, and it didn't work either. There's just pieces of people that they've tried to do heel runs with who had brief heel runs that just, no, it wasn't good. It wasn't a good idea. So, I don't know. Rey Mysterio hasn't played heel in WWE, at least. And he's talked about it in different segments. So I don't know. Maybe a heel run by Rey Mysterio in this part of his career might be good. Of course, would that mean him and Dominic would make peace in some form or another?
That'd be strange at this point.
I know. It'd be really interesting. We'll have to wait and see how that all plays out. He was heel when he played No Mask.
But that's part of the Filthy Animals bit.
Yeah, that was part of the Filthy Animals bit, which is really weird because it's like in WWE we throw out all that folklore, like Ray has never been unmasked, so and then they sell the whole the story behind the luchador, and the mask is so sacred. I'm like, but he's already lost this match once in his wrestling career, if not more times that we know of. I mean, so it's like, well, I guess he's never lost it in Mexico. I guess he can't, because once you lose it in Mexico, I don't think you can redon it for any.
You're not supposed to. That's kind of an unwritten rule.
Yeah. Anyways, into the main event. We had Bayley versus Bianca Belair. I know some people thought this match was confusing. It was leading up to the storyline, the return of Bianca Belair. She wants to get her hands on Damage Control. She's getting her title match tomorrow night. So, yeah, she's going to take on Bayley to finish up this storyline. Bianca Belair wins at 13 minutes, 21 seconds with a KOD. I don't know. It was a match. They have a good match in the ring. I mean, they get in there and do it. I think we've just seen it so much that we're just kind of like blah. And I think Bianca Belair's babyface character's ran its course. It's becoming like Cena level babyface crap. That's just like, okay, we're over it. Heel turn. I'm just over it. Bayley seems to be taking a lot of losses and not really feeling like Bayley in any of this. They had that storyline where it looked like, she's done a lot of things to push Io Sky, and it looks like Io Sky would finally turn babyface and turn against Bayley. I don't know if they're holding off for Bayley to go into WrestleMania against Io Sky in some form or fashion. But then we get the news and rumors that Kairi Sane is already back on the roster. She's on the active roster, meaning she's already signed, and I guess been signed for a while. It just hasn't been officially notified. But Kairi Sane, she could show up at any point in time. And so you wonder what kind of monkey wrench that throws into it. But I'm kind of like, I'm over Bianca Belair. Bayley feels stale and lost. Damage Control just kind of feels blah, which is sad because I kind of like the team of Damage Control, but I'm just like, all these pieces, and I think Dakota Kai is still recovering from injury. I don't think she's fully cleared So there's a lot of pieces there, but I don't know. I'm over Bianca Belair. She doesn't do anything for me. She doesn't bring anything else to the table. It's the same stuff, and they made her the female Cena at this point. And then Bailey's just kind of like, I feel like she's taking a lot of losses, and there's just no forward movement. And so this match was really, not because they can't go in the ring and perform. Not that the match itself and what they did in the ring was bad. It's just everything else that's leading into it. Mr.
Right, the
Clarke,
story.
your thoughts on
So my
this
question
match?
is, I don't even have any thoughts on this match. There's nothing to add to it. My question pertaining to Bianca Belair is she at least selling merch? I mean, like with Cena, you can make the argument why he never turned heel. Between his Make-A-Wish work as well as the merch he was selling, like, well, why? It's doing too well for the company. Is Bianca doing anything like that that makes it worth keeping her face?
Well, that'll be a question here. We know LA Knight's number one, so let's see here. Is this? This seems to be recent. Let's see if this gives me something. I don't know if October dates are out there.
Oh, even if we get September dates, the idea is just to get something semi-recent to get an idea, even if we don't have it completely pinpoint accurate, you know.
Kevin Owens number 10, Roman Reigns is number 9, NWO's number 8, Jey Uso's number 7, Bray Wyatt's number 6, Rhea Ripley's number 5, Stone Cold Steve Austin's number 4, Cody Rhodes is number 3, John Cena's number 2, and LA Knight's number 1. So she, according to at least this information that we're getting here, is not even number 1. Of course, this is for September, which she was on the shelf. So I don't know what they think they have or what they think they're going to do, but I don't think she's a top seller. I don't think. I mean, we could. I don't know.
The fact that the NWO is still outselling within the top 10. Damn. Oh. Well.
Well, the question would be a lot of like how much do they put behind each person too. So if we go to look at what do they have, can tell you a lot of stuff too. I don't know. I just think they could definitely go heel with Bianca Belair at this point, and I don't think it's gonna hurt anybody. Why do I put in shop WWE.com and it keeps taking me to a Honda dealership?
Okay.
Maybe it's okay. It's WWE shop, not shop WWE.com. What is going on? Something's funky like a monkey. Let's see. WWE shop. Really? Okay, let's get in here. It's shop.wwe.com. Their website must be down. No, here it comes. Finally coming up. Let's see here. Get out of there. Let's go down here. Superstars. Bianca Belair. She has one t-shirt. She has a sweatshirt blanket, a couple posters, two t-shirts, a hoodie, a drink koozie, some other posters, lunch pail. I mean, she's okay. Well, then she's got quite a bit of stuff that they're trying to sell with her likeness, her branding on there. Is it selling? I don't know. She's not hitting the top 10, at least from the information I'm gathering. So I don't think they're going to lose them much. Of course, they've got Jade Cargill that they could probably sell a lot of stuff for. And I mean, they could really, if they took Io Sky babyface, I'm sure Io Sky could probably sell a lot of good stuff. Kairi Sane's coming back. So it's not like I don't feel like they couldn't have somebody that's going to replace Bianca Belair, because I don't think Bianca Belair is a top merchandise seller like a Cena was, that it was so over that you couldn't let Cena go heel because you're afraid of losing that revenue, but I don't know.
So I'm looking at 411 Mania and who the producers for tonight's SmackDown was. Well, the SmackDown that aired tonight, I guess I should say.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently Michael Hayes produced the LA Knight promo with Roman Reigns. Jason Jordan produced Kevin Owens and Austin Theory.
Okay.
Adam Pearce and Molly Holly produced various backstage segments.
So Adam Pearce is a general manager of Raw, but he's producing stuff on SmackDown. Interesting.
They also produced specifically Charlotte Flair and Shotzi versus Piper and Chelsea.
Okay.
Shane Helms produced the Logan Paul and Rey Mysterio weigh-in. I'm just like,
Okay.
oof. We know Shane Helms has done better production work before when he was working behind the scenes in TNA, let alone his work in WWE.
Yeah.
Just again, just as a producer, let alone his wrestling career. Michael Hayes was the producer for the John Cena Solo Sikoa segment.
Okay.
And for the Bianca Belair versus Bayley match, Kenny Dystra produced that match.
The Spirit Squad will never die.
Right?
So he.
At least they don't do the. At least they don't do the South Park thing. We don't die, we multiply.
What is up with the new South Park thing where they're all females? I don't get it. Anyways. We're not going to get into South Park here. But yeah, Kenny Dykstra, I don't know. He does some good stuff. He doesn't. It was a good match. I don't think there was anything necessarily wrong with the match or the production or of the match. I just think everybody's over Bianca. Bianca's coming back and getting her title shot. I don't think she's going to beat Io Sky. Hopefully, Kairi Sane shows up. There are so many rumors for tomorrow that people are going to show up. I guess Grayson Waller, or no. Yeah, the Miz and Grayson Waller and some local celebrity to Saudi Arabia are supposed to have something going on there tomorrow, and it's not a soccer player, it's not or a football player, as they put it. So it doesn't sound like it's going to be Cristiano Ronaldo or whatever his freaking name is. Or I don't know, maybe to be Vince McMahon, since he says Saudi Arabia is the new home. So
for WWE. Yeah, no. How about that?
Maybe to be his new home. Maybe he'll stay over there. I don't know. Anyways, so we'll have to see. Maybe Kairi Sane shows up. There's talks of Randy Orton showing up. There's talks of CM Punk showing up. Yeah. I don't expect Punk unless it's Chicago, because that's the only place that makes sense in Survivor Series if Punk is doing this. But the speculation on Punk, it's everywhere, so it's hard to even pinpoint that. Randy Orton returning at Crown Jewel could possibly lead to something depending on it, but I don't know if I really want to see what I think they would want to do with Randy Orton. Kind of want to see Randy come back and continue its babyface run because it's just fun. It's kind of like Brock Lesnar when he did the Cowboy, babyface run. It was just fun. It was just natural. It just felt like they are relaxed and having fun instead of trying to play a character. It just looked like Randy Orton with Matt Riddle was just having fun, enjoying wrestling, coming out and doing what he does. I don't know if I want to see a heel Orton. And with that being said, it would seem like Orton, Orton would show up to possibly confront Cody, so we can get Cody having another element to go against Randy because of their past history. I mean, it's there. You can build a storyline out of it. I just don't know if that's necessarily what I want to see.
I mean, I want to see it eventually, but it doesn't need to be now.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to see a returning Randy as a heel yet. I don't know, even know if I want to see him and Cody go at it as heels. Maybe a babyface Randy versus babyface Cody could be interesting. I don't know.
I mean, you have that automatic one-upmanship type story without being where it's jovial and not evil.
So we're gonna have to wait and see. A lot of stuff being talked about. Of course, there's supposed to be bad weather today, tomorrow, whatever it is over there. I forget. It's been a long time since I've had to be over there. It's about a 12-hour difference, at least in Iraq, and of course Saudi Arabia is not too far, so maybe a 10 or 11-hour difference. But that is that. SmackDown was definitely quick. There wasn't a whole lot to talk about SmackDown. Tomorrow night is Crown Jewel, so or tomorrow morning for us out here in the Americas, 10 a.m. So I'm expecting
why don't we get into predictions for tomorrow's show?
Predictions for tomorrow's show. Let's see here.
For example, on the kickoff show, we're supposed to have Sami Zayn versus JD McDonough.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to say Sammy to be safe, but I wouldn't be surprised if McDonough gets the moment.
Yeah, I see Sammy going over. JD right now seems to be putting people over and trying to worm his way into the Judgment Day more and more. But that's, I think, more through story than through his matches.
Yeah. Well, I don't. I think he might need this win here to keep the story fresh. But again, Sam, I don't know. It's hard to bounce. Depends on what they're really going to do with Sammy. Sammy's kind of lost right now. He's not really going to be in a title contention, and they're continuing to build the feud for Survivor Series for what we hope is War Games. So, I mean, maybe a win by McDonough here solidifies McDonough more into Judgment Day and makes Sammy a little more fired up, especially if there's nefarious means or Judgment Day or Dominic or somebody else helping out with it. So, I mean, Sammy, I would say would be the higher pick, the safe bet, but I wouldn't be surprised if McDonough pulls one off, and especially since it's on the pre-show. So, or the kickoff, as they call it.
Same idea. KD's been coming out with Dominic Mysterio and sometimes even Rhea Ripley. So having that backup there is also something that's got to be thought of.
Yeah.
And then we go on to the main card and we start looking at Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest.
Oh, that's Cody. Cody can't lose. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. Damian Priest is going to look good in this. This is probably going to be something. This may end in a WDQ. This may end into a street fight. This may end in a double count out, but neither of these. Cody definitely can't lose, so I think Cody may have to. See, and this is where I would go back and say McDonough may have to be the one that beats Sammy so that the Judgment Day and the feud that we have here is kind of balanced out by the end of this show. But this may be Cody winning with Judgment Day interfering, but costing Damian Priest to continue this festering storyline that he's not the leader. He's kind of being. We see this dissension in him, especially with the Rhea Ripley storyline too. So this something may cost him. His buddies may cost him, which will set him on another course, which may make him want to cry and cash in the Money in the Bank tomorrow night. I still think something funky is going to happen with that Money in the Bank briefcase, but we'll wait and see. What do you think?
That's the great thing about the Money in the Bank briefcase. It's like, you never know. There's so many ways they can play it out if they choose to.
I'm still curious. What if somebody just found the case, grabbed the case, took the case away from him, and went and used it to cash in? I mean, is that... I mean, there's no rules or there's nothing that says. It just says whoever holds the case gets a title match within a year. So, I mean, in theory, possession's 9/10 of the law. So if you hold it, you come out and cash it. Is that legitimate? I mean, that's an interesting scenario that I think WWE should. If they're not going to do it this time, I definitely think at some point they should throw that in there. Where you have even like tag team partners. One of the, you could do it with the Street Profits where Montez wins it. Wins the money, or Angelo Dawkins wins the Money in the Bank briefcase by some weird means, which would be like everybody going, huh? Just have Montez like take it and go cash in, and become a single star. Of course, that probably splits the Street Profits, but
not a bad story, not a bad path though to do it though.
No, it's not a bad way. I mean, you could have, and it would kind of throw the crowd off because they would be like, why did Angelo Dawkins get the Money in the Bank? Like that doesn't make sense. And then you have Montez just like pick up his briefcase and go cash in it. I'd like to see WWE use that storyline where somebody in a group or somebody steals it from the other person and see how they play it out.
Now, before going to the next match, I agree with you. Cody Rhodes is probably going to be the one that goes over one way or another over Damian Priest. But they want to be careful though, because I know he's the Money in the Bank. He has the Money in the Bank briefcase. So it's like he doesn't have to win every match to look strong. He's always got that insurance policy. But by the same token, they've messed up so many guys. Well, let me rephrase that. Not they. Vince has messed up so many guys in the past by having them lose and lose and lose just with that insurance policy of the Money in the Bank briefcase. Like you still want the guy to look strong. You still want to be able to say, hey, he's somewhat worthy.
Yeah. No, I think...
I agree. It's got to be Cody Rhodes because of the overall story we're telling.
I think they're going to do something there. I think we're going to get nefarious means and all that. So it's just a matter of how that plays out. So we're going to have to wait and see. I think there's going to be more to it than we're seeing right now.
For the United States Championship, Rey Mysterio, champion, versus Logan Paul.
I think you're going to stay with Mysterio. Whoops. Why did I do that? Stand by. Hit the wrong button. Now we're back. Okay. Anyways, no, I think Rey Mysterio is definitely going to win this. It doesn't make sense unless you're going to give Logan Paul the title. It's hard, but I would have to say Ray. But I mean, there's a good case for Logan Paul here. But I don't know. It just depends on how long Logan Paul is willing to be around. What's his direction? Is he going to be there enough on TV? Of course, we're ready. We're heading into WrestleMania season, so maybe, but I don't think so. Not tonight. Not well. I don't know. I mean, unless I want to get a big buzz in Saudi, it's going to be interesting. But I'd probably go with Ray on this one.
See, the troll in me wants to go with Logan Paul just because I think it would be just so good for his character. The ego, everything that would come with that, the future promos, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Ray is definitely the safe bet, but I don't know. I have a hard time going. It's like, because obviously we don't know what's happening as far as LA Knight's real life contract deal, but there was rumors that like maybe they might put the U.S. title on Logan Paul, then eventually LA Knight takes the belt from Logan Paul.
That could definitely be an interesting way to play that one out.
Moving on. How about we talk about the WWE Women's Championship, Io Sky versus Bianca Belair.
Io Sky.
Flat out.
It's just Io Sky. That storyline is going to be Bayley versus Io Sky maybe at WrestleMania. Unless you get Kairi Sane back, then there may be something thrown in there. So we'll have to see. I won't be surprised if we get to see Kairi Sane show up here, or she may be on a soon episode. But yeah, Io Sky is keeping that title.
I hope so. That's all I can say about that. John Cena versus Solo Sikoa.
Solo. I think Solo needs it. I think Solo needs that rub. Cena's going to go away. I don't think Cena winning here does anything. I know they've sold the story, but I think if you make Solo Sikoa look like the enforcer, this unruthless Samoan, I think it's better for him. I mean, Cena could win here to look strong, but I think that weakens Solo and doesn't add to the storyline right now. Something else, it's got to be Roman and Solo that have some issue. I mean, I don't think, Solo losing to Cena would create a damage or a rift between Roman and Solo. Unless Roman comes out and costs Solo, unless there's some nefarious weirdness that's going to go on in all this. But I would say Solo. Jimmy might be a mess up here too. But I'm going to assume Solo Sikoa is going to win this match.
That's all, folks.
I know.
Yeah, Cena winning doesn't do anything. We already know he's going back to Hollywood soon enough, whenever that the actor strike is over. When putting Sikoa over helps the company, helps strengthen, the present day wrestler. So for the Women's World Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Bleep versus Shayna Baszler versus Raquel Rodriguez versus Zoe Stark.
Rhea Ripley. There's no reason to put it on any of these other people. I don't know what you do after this, but Rhea Ripley is going to retain that title.
I think this is going to continue a story with Miss Bleep.
Unfortunately.
Because even though Shayna Baszler is great, Zoe Starks is great. I like Raquel Rodriguez. That's all, folks. But the most threatening out of her opponents does look like Miss Bleep.
Miss Bleep just needs to go away and stay off my TV. Shayna Baszler needs to get back to the badass stage. Zoe Starks is still kind of fresh, so there's not a lot there. We just got to see what she's going to do. Raquel Rodriguez is just kind of dead. I don't know what they do with her. They need to turn her into...
Put her in a legitimate tag team with someone.
They've done that and it didn't do any good. I mean, they had her with Liv Morgan.
That's why I said a legitimate tag team, not a thrown together, not a, we're going to do this for a few months and then, no, bring tag team wrestling back in the women's division.
Who would you put her with?
That I don't know yet.
That's the thing. I don't know who.
That I will think about, and we will discuss that at a future point on there.
During the weekly roundup?
Break it down, or maybe the weekly roundup.
I just don't see anybody that you could team her with that would be a viable. And she's just kind of stale. Like, she doesn't do anything for me. She's just so stagnant. She does that stupid muscle weird thing where she turns around and is like, ooh, and it's just like, I'm over it. Quit being this. You're Dora the Explorer of wrestling right now for me. So yeah, Rhea Ripley wins her title back.
You mean retains her title?
Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
All right. So what about for the World Heavyweight Championship? Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre.
I don't know. I'm hearing speculations that Triple H is going to get involved in this one and turn on Seth Rollins to help Drew McIntyre to win this title in some form, faction, or another. I don't know. Drew McIntyre may be winding up joining Judgment Day. They're hitting so strong at this, and with Damian Priest possibly exiting Judgment Day, it would sort of make sense. But I don't know. He's kind of the lone man. I think it's going to be a slow burn. I think Seth is going to come out strong. I think the only place you really get Seth losing the title is probably WrestleMania against Gunther. I just feel like it's going to be Seth. I don't think it's Drew's time. We don't know what his contract status is with WWE either. Of course, if he wins, maybe that tells us something and changes a lot of directions on booking if Drew were to win. Is Drew there? It could be a different story for Drew, but the story they're telling is he won that match in an empty arena. And does he want to win it in Saudi Arabia? So it sounds like, oh, you won the world title in an empty arena. Then you won it overseas in some other place, in some other country. So, you're not really legit. I don't know.
How is winning it in Saudi Arabia not legit?
Well, because it's not American soil. It's not his home country. It's not. It's Saudi Arabia. I'm just saying they would be. He hasn't. Crown Jewel is just kind of a pay-per-view that we all kind of have to watch. But I would have to say with Seth on this, I just think it's Seth. I don't see Drew winning it yet. Your thoughts?
I'm a little more not quite 50-50, but maybe 55-45. I don't know. I would love to see Drew win it, but I do see Seth retaining. But when you talk about rumors of maybe Triple H kind of coming in on his behalf, like, that could be interesting. Maybe he wasn't just Vincent's chosen one. Maybe he was the company's chosen one. You never know.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. We only have like less than 12 hours at this point. At least for the pay-per-view to start. We're still about 13, 14 hours away from that match happening, I'm sure.
Right. And then, of course, we come to the
Roman Reigns
event. Undisputed WWE Universal Championship. The champion, Roman Reigns versus L.A. Knight. Yeah!
L.A. Knight. It's Roman Reigns.
With everybody saying L.A. Knight.
It's Roman Reigns. I mean, I don't know how. I can't tell you how the story's going to go, but Knight's not winning, and that's just a fact. No matter how bad you want Knight to win, it's not Knight's night.
Not Knight's time yet. Well, I mean, unfortunately, I agree with you just because we look at the overall story. It's like, it's no one else's time yet, anyways, for this pay-per-view, if you will, or premium live event.
Yeah. It's not happening. I mean, they built a good storyline. They're making Knight look strong. He'll probably come out looking strong, but it's going to be Roman in nefarious means. It's not time for the kingdom to fall. Soon it will be, and we will see how that all comes together, but it's not now. So it's going to be interesting. But with that being said, this has been the Value of Wrestling. This has been your SmackDown review. We thank you for joining us. We thank you for being here. We appreciate you being here. And if you are here, make sure you hit that like and hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already, we need you to subscribe. And if you're joining us later, make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring that bell for notifications, so whenever we go live or have any new videos come up, you'll be aware. Tomorrow morning is Crown Jewel, 10 a.m. out here in the California area. And we are planning to go live around 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is kind of the goal, because I think that's 10 a.m. Give about a 4-hour pay-per-view. Hopefully it's only 3. We have an hour buffer. And we'll be live with Miguel Z to review everything that happened at Crown Jewel. We're going to talk about it, get into deep down details, and we're going to tell you everything that's going to go down. And then later that same night, me and Mr. Clarke will be back with a Collision review to go over everything that happened on Collision, because, well, hey, we love doing this stuff, and we know we got to do this like 3 times this month, so it's going to be fun. And then, of course, Sunday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on the Value Wrestling YouTube channel, we come out to you live with a weekly roundup, rounding up everything that's going on in the world of professional wrestling, from the shows, news, rumors, speculation, and everything else. And, of course, our good buddy, our New Japan Pro Wrestling expert, the one, the only Miguel Z, joins us for that also. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think like it is that time, as always, and like I always say, up next episode, it's time to say bye. We're going to get out of here, and until next time.